Hi, welcome to the EEVblog, an electronics engineering video blog of interest to anyone involved in electronics design. I'm your host, Dave Jones.
Yeah, a bit laggy. I don't know if the Ustream server gets more laggy the more viewers when you got, 100 or there's probably 100 plus viewers actually streaming this. So welcome everyone. As usual, I've got no set plan at all. I've got no plan, so fire away your questions if you want me to talk about stuff. well, questions already. What's your middle name? Video lag is a function of load, yeah. What? Everyone's asking my middle name. Do you really want to know? Oh, should I tell? I'll tell you how I put the time in the upper corner. You see my little clock? I've got a clock up there which is really cool. I'll show you some other cool effects in a minute. Middle name, alright, it's not a secret. People know it's Leon. David Leon Jones. And there you go. It's my father's name, Leon. So there you go. Yep. Leon, I don't know if that's a good name in the US or what. I don't like it. It's not that great. But that's what I've got. Anyway, the reason I use David L. Jones is because, well, obviously David Jones is too generic. And when I first started publishing my projects when I was a teenager, I thought, there's got to be other David Joneses out there. So to differentiate myself, I've always put the L in there. I've done that ever since I first published my first project. So I've always been David L. Jones. And then when I joined Usenet and other chat forums like that, I used the David L. Jones as well as my name. So no, Davy Jones, no, that's a US thing. Yeah, David Jones is a department store in Australia, if you didn't know. It's a famous upmarket department store here. That's why the name David Jones is bad in Australia for that aspect. And in the US, it's Davy Jones and Davy Jones's Locker and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I copped a lot of shit when I was a kid. So, yeah, Leon's okay, it's all right. But there you go, David Leon, David L. So that's why I put the L in there, just to differentiate myself from any other David Joneses in the industry. I don't think there are too many. I haven't come across too many other David Joneses of note in the electronics industry anyway. So there you go. What's the worst gadget you have ever come across? Oh God, the Spankometer. Have you seen the J-Car used to sell it? It's a Spankometer. And you put it on your wrist, it's like a wristwatch, and it counts the number of spanks, What can I say? That's a really bad gadget. So, I've only seen it in the catalogue, but the Spankometer, or the Wankometer, I guess you could call it. It depends on which country you're from. The terminology might be different. Oh, geez, all the chat's just flying off the window here. Have you had a chance to mess around with the Arduino anymore and any chance of a blog project? No, I haven't used the Arduino, haven't had the chance to use it for anything else yet. So, no, if I want to do something quick and dirty, I'll do an Arduino. I haven't had the chance. So there you go. And I've got those TI launch pads too. I haven't played with them. Oh, yeah, somebody asked about the clock in the corner. Watch this. I can do some really cool stuff. Anyone who plays with webcams is probably aware of this, but watch this. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Background, effects. All right, watch this. Two-headed Dave. There you go. Check it out. Isn't that cool? Hey, can I get four thumbs up? There we go. That's an awesome effect. Oh, how cool is that? That's great. That's the mirror effect. I've got to do this as like a blog intro or something. That'd make a cool intro. I'll like come in on the, hey, I'm Dave. Welcome to the EEVblog. I'm Dave Jones or something like that. So that's the mirror effect. That's very cool. And there's a whole heap of other warpy ones. And there's a square. Watch this. There we go. I'm a square. Look at my nose. There we go. So I can do some really cool effects with this camera splitter software, and I can do like face accessories, like where are we? I can do like stupid hats and things. I can put on a silly Santa hat. Really wanky stuff like that. And face, I can put headphones on. There you go, and it tracks my head with headphones in real time. It's complete wank, but it's fun to play with. And I can be a clown. That's pretty disturbing. Put real silly eyebrows on and yeah, wank like that. And the alien mask, pretty cool. There you go. Alien. This is not going to come up on the main camera up here. It's going to be a bit stupid, but I'm recording with the. This should show up on the recording, and there you go. And it can overlay the clock, and I can type stuff. I can actually do text over video and stuff like that, and I can make it scroll and really neat, cool stuff like that. I can even draw stuff. Watch this. I can even draw circuits directly on the screen, There's a diode. There you go. So, yeah, very cool. I love it. So that works really well. So enough playing around with that. I'll turn off text overlay. There we go, and I'll shut that down. There you go, and I'm back. All right, enough of the silly. What's the hardest problem I've run into a design? Oh, goodness. Oh, I don't know. Let me think about that one. I don't know. There's many big projects I've worked on that have lots of intricate problems. I guess the hardest ones, the hardest problems are ones where there's a whole bunch of factors involved in not making something work, and you're troubleshooting it, trying to get it to work, and it just and it's just something that you just didn't think of at all. It's something so it turns out to be something so obscure. I spent weeks trying to solve a problem, sometimes getting something to work, and it'll turn out to be the most obscure thing that interacts with other things and cascades. It's like a plane crash or something. A million things have to go wrong before it ultimately crashes. It's just crazy. So, did I feel the earthquake in New Zealand? No, I didn't. New Zealand's quite a long way away from Sydney. It's about a 3-hour flight or something like that. So no, we didn't feel it here in Sydney. But yeah, the New Zealand earthquake. If I've got any New Zealand visitors out there, I hope you're doing all right in Christchurch. I love Christchurch. I've been there. What happened to the drive time videos? No drive time anymore. No, I haven't had the urge to do a drive time video for ages now. Maybe because I'm doing the new radio show and I get to rant on there, I guess. So whereas before the car would be my rant, would be my rant thing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll get back into the drive time. Maybe not. I might just haven't had the urge to. So whoa. So many questions. Sorry, guys. They're just scrolling off the screen. Are there any chance of a bench meter lineup, a bench multimeter shootout? No, not really. I don't find bench multimeters particularly interesting. I'm sorry, but So, nope. I got no plans for a bench multimeter shootout. Is it common to design a board? Whoa. I missed it. Oh, there's too many questions. They've been fired at me left, right, and centre, and they're scrolling off the screen. Worst gadget. I've already answered the worst gadget question. It's the spankometer. What do I think about building my own test equipment? Maybe as a starter project. Yeah, it's awesome. Build your own test gear. It's one of the coolest things you can do. Power supply is the classic beginner starter project. Build your own power supplies. Yeah, do it. Is it common to design a board to etch the least amount of copper? I've been asked to do a board in that manner. Is it common to etch the board using the least amount of... do you mean etching the most amount of copper off it and just leaving the traces, or leaving all the copper on, as in leaving all the ground plane on? Sorry, whoever asked that question. Why don't I use IRC? Because Ustream does it in a pop-up window. I don't want to install yet another application. I hate installing applications. I love everything that's browser-based. Single-sided boards, incidentally. Anyway, I'll come back to that. If somebody gets back to me with that copper question, to etch the least amount of copper, I don't understand which side your question's coming from. I'll answer both sides. The copper thing, it's when you etch a board, you can either choose to, well, when you design a board, you can either choose to leave all the copper on there, or you can etch away most of the copper. Now, you know, do you leave the, I assume this is the person's question, do you leave the, do you leave all the copper on the board? And it depends on what you want to achieve. Sometimes if you leave all copper on one side of the board and not much copper on the other, if you've got a large board, the board can actually warp. It can actually warp, and that can be a problem if you've got BGA devices or something like that on there that might crack if the board actually warps. Now, like an SO package or something like that, the chips with the little gull wing leads, they're quite good because they've got a bit of strain relief in them. When the board flexes and warps, the chip just, you know, handles that. No, the chip handles that no problem at all. But BGA, if you've got a large ceramic BGA package or something, you don't want your board warping. That's death, really. So it'll crack the joints and all sorts of things. Nasty. So so yeah, there we go. If you want to ask more copper questions, I'm not sure what the specific question was. So yeah, so you leave copper on both sides so that the thermal expansion doesn't warp the board. So, do I have a number 2 hobby? Yeah, I've got all sorts of hobbies. Electronics, I've got, I used to do geocaching, I've got canyoning, and I guess you can call the gym a hobby. I'm a bit of a fitness nut, so yeah. Rant about aliens. Cool. I love aliens. I want to believe. I want to believe in aliens. Aliens are just cool. You know, if I want to believe, you know, I want to believe that Elvis is still alive and there's aliens. That's, yeah, why not? You know, sounds good. Back to electronics, please. Yeah, somebody's already pissed off. Whoa, too many questions. What are my opinions on the Open Bench Logic Analyzer? $40 open source. What is the brand of that awesome sippy bottle? The open source logic analyzer, I haven't used it, but open source logic analyzers, yeah, there's some good ones around. Go for it. For $40, you can't go wrong, I don't think. Really good. So, what's the brand of this bottle. It's an eco tanker. ECOTANKA. Eco tanker. It's really good. It's stainless steel because if you drink from plastic leaches chemicals. I can't remember the exact chemical name off the top of my head, but yeah, if you drink from a plastic water bottle, it leaches chemicals. They're really bad. So I'm a bit of a health nut, so I drink from a stainless steel. I try to lead a chemical-free lifestyle. So yeah, I drink from a stainless steel water bottle. There you go. And it's pure filtered water. I'm not going to drink Sydney water. No way. It's got bloody fluoride. It's got, believe it or not, you want to know what they put in the water here in Sydney? This is electronics related, by the way. They actually put ferric chloride. Believe it or not, ferric chloride into Sydney water. Ferric chloride that you use to etch your PCBs with, right? Anyone who's etched PCBs might use ammonium persulfate or ferric chloride. They're the two main ones. What do I think of water fluoridation? Oh, here's another rant. Sorry, I've got to have another little rant. Sydney Water, who's the company who puts the water, and I can't say too much, my wife works for them. Anyway, fluoride is in the water here in Australia, in most places, most states. I think some states don't have it, but Sydney certainly do. They put fluoride in the water, and they put it in there in the 60s thinking that it would help your teeth, you know, it would improve your teeth and stuff like that. And it doesn't. It's it basically has little effect on your teeth, and it causes all sorts of health issues. Fluoride, and they won't take it out, because to take it out, they would have to admit that it was a mistake to put it in there in the first place. And then they'd get hit with 1 million lawsuits from anyone who's had any health problem ever related to fluoride in the drinking water. So there you go. I believe they're trying to do it in the US in several states. They're trying to put fluoride in the water, and people protest, and yeah, do it. Protest. Don't get fluoride in your water. It's bad. So I've got a $1,000 filter inside to take out fluoride and everything else from our... What do I think of the Salee Logic Analyzer? Once again, I haven't used it. I've heard really good things. It looks good. So I'm not sure of the price of the Salee Logic Analyzer. But yeah, it looks good. All those USB Logic Analyzers, I don't think there's a really bad one among the bunch. They're all reasonably good. So really, yeah. How long did it take me to design and build the microcurrent? To design it, it's really quite simple. You probably spend most of your time just, once again, I've said this before, sourcing parts and stuff like that. You know, sourcing the best switch for it took ages. Finding a low-cost little three-way, you know, three-position switch for it. You know, it's just all those small things. So, yeah, but we're only talking days, you know. We're not talking... Pardon me, we're not talking a huge amount of time. What is the microcurrent? Geez, you haven't been watching the blog for long. The microcurrent is my little adapter here. That's the microcurrent. It's designed to measure small currents and eliminate burden voltage in your multimeter. I've got a whole article on it that was published in Silicon Chip. So, yeah, you can go read that. It's on my Alternate Zone website. Yeah, red is cool. I love red. All my projects are red now. They all use red boards. I love red PCBs. Can I give an ETA on the LCR meter blog? Oh, geez, I've been saying it for ages. Here they are. LCR meters, LCR meters, LCR meters. And I've been meaning to do it for a long time. I've had them for more than a month now, or ages, 2 months. The X-Tech one. It's going to be next. I've now got the Heiko 888 soldering. The FX 888, the Heiko FX 888. Somebody asked me to do a review of that, so I've got one. And I'm probably going to review that first now, I think. So I was going to do the LCR meters next. I've got a DC to DC converter blog I've shot and I haven't edited, so that will be next. The live blog will also go up. That'll be another blog. And then probably the Heiko and then the LCR meters, I think. So that's kind of the schedule. Do I plan to add Tektronix brands to my shootouts or reviews? Well, yeah, I mean, I don't put any, I'm not actively going out and getting stuff for review at the moment, but I don't, actually, no, I do know someone at Tektronix, but they're in like the marketing, oh, well, actually, yeah, they might be suitable, but yeah, I guess I can get Tektronix gear if I wanted to. I haven't tried before, so yeah, I might do. Oh no, of course the oh no, sorry, no, I'm thinking about something else. That was a brain fart. Do people donate the equipment? Yes, they do. Like the Heiko soldering iron. This came from Farnell's. Farnell's came through on this. I just emailed Farnell's. I'd like to review it, and they sent me one. So there you go. Farnell's are pretty good. So I get stuff from Farnell's. Farnell's sent me the Agilent multimeter as well. But these ones came straight from the manufacturers. The Agilent one I got directly from Agilent. That came from their Asian handheld division. I know people there. I got that. B&K like my blog, so they sent me the LCR meter one direct. And X-Tech, of course. X-Tech are like my blog as well. They're really into my blog, and they sent me the X-Tech. So those three companies send me gear directly. So yeah, I've had other I've had other companies contact me, sort of, you know, trying to put the feelers out, you know, fishing what my audience is. They're trying to figure out if it's worthwhile. Rigol won't have anything to do with me anymore. They used to like me. Rigol, I used to be in contact with the managing director in Rigol USA, but he won't have a bar of that anymore. So I don't think Rigol are going to send me gear. Instec, who make that other good low cost scope, they won't send me stuff for review. I tried to get the Instec oscilloscope, and they won't. They don't want anything to do with my blog. So yeah, screw you, Instec. And LaCroix as well. I've been in contact with LaCroix, and they were one of the ones who were fishing to find out, you know, if my blog's any good or not, and should they waste their time. But I haven't heard back from them apart from a couple of emails. There you go. Would I consider doing PWM control with micros? Yeah, I might do a video on PWM someday. More tutorial videos, because the tutorial videos do really well. It's all a matter of hits these days. I'm obsessed with the number of hits I get, you know, as a video blogger. So the tutorials get linked in more places, and they're more popular. So yeah, I've just got to keep them to a reasonable length. That's my problem. Can I add my peak LCR meter to the comparison? That's a good question. Yeah, the Peak Atlas LCR meter. That's, yeah, a good point. That's sort of in a similar price range to the X-Tech one, I think, slightly less, but yeah, all right. Good point. I'll see if I can remember to get the Peak Atlas, because they make some nice little gear if you haven't. It's a little pocket kind of size LCR meters and stuff, and I've heard it's quite reasonable. So yeah, I might look into getting one of those. Any news from Carl on the documentary? I heard he's pretty close to getting a trailer out there. So he's been working crazy on it. He's been working like full time, because he's a contractor. He's an independent film guy. So if he's got no jobs on, he can just work full time on the documentary. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a really first class, big, full on documentary. And yet I believe he's very close to doing a trailer for it. And hopefully I'm going to be in it. I mean, I'm one of like a dozen people he interviewed for the doco, so yeah, hopefully I'll get my 30 seconds of fame in the documentary. He'll probably put lots of Dick Smith in there because Dick Smith is one of the major people in the doco. So yeah, so I hope I make that. So once the preview for the doco comes up, I'll be sure to get it off Carl and I'll upload it to my site so everyone can see it. No problem. And then when the full one comes out, I'll also get a copy of that and upload it to my site, and everyone can watch the full documentary. So yeah, stay tuned. What do you think is a better way to learn electronics? Someone without a scope, building real circuits or simulating them? Or would it be much better off getting a scope and building stuff? You're much better off getting a scope and building stuff. I'm kind of, I guess you could say, being a crusty old guy who used to build stuff, I'm anti sort of simulation and all that sort of stuff. But no, simulators are good because it allows you to just experiment really easily. So I don't want to talk bad of simulators. They are good, because it takes, you really need both. I think you need the simulators to be able just to modify your circuit in lots of ways that you couldn't if if you change your, you can just easily change a value by orders of magnitude or even a picofarad or something like that. In the simulator, you can muck around with it. And you don't need any parts. You can just do it and get the basic concepts to see how things work. But what simulators don't teach you is all the parasitic effects you get when you build things up. Like if you build up a high frequency switch mode DC to DC converter on a breadboard, it's probably going to perform horribly and oscillate, do all sorts of weird shit because of all the parasitic capacitance and everything else. And also simulators don't break on you, because I'm a huge believer, and I've said this in the blog before, that you will learn the most when your circuit doesn't work. So I hope your next project does not work. I hope it fails completely on you and you have to troubleshoot it, because that's when troubleshooting stuff is when you learn the most. So there you go. That's the see ya, whoever, someone's leaving. So there you go. Yeah, simulators have their place, but definitely get an oscilloscope and build stuff. You can't just learn from simulators. That's the answer to the question. How is the Kindle with PDFs and graphics? It seems to work fine. I haven't done extensive PDFs on it yet, but it seems to work. It displays everything I've thrown at it. So, oh, am I still working on a comparison for the $100 shootout? Oh, damn, sorry, I didn't finish that. Yeah, I've got the spreadsheet probably 90% done for that, and I just, I was just being lazy, and yeah, sorry, I'll probably have to finish that off. Do I have any tips for dealing with Chinese distributors directly? Helps if you know Mandarin. At work, we've got a guy who speaks Mandarin, and that's a godsend for dealing with China. But I've bought stuff directly from China via Alibaba.com and stuff like that. Most of them speak English. Just try and find some of the bigger dealers on those sort of sites they speak pretty good English, and I've had no problems dealing with them at all. Just be very specific in the exact part numbers and stuff you want, and yeah, I've had nothing but good dealings with companies straight from China. So that was another one straight from Taiwan. Like my latest project I'm working on, I needed a part, and it's quite expensive if you buy it from Farnell's, which is the only place that actually have it. But I found out who manufactured the knob, and I went directly to the manufacturer in was it Taiwan? Yeah, I think it was Taiwan, or yeah, something like that. Anyway, well, their bank account was in Taiwan and their factory was in China or something. I don't know, something weird like that. And I ordered the part directly from them, no problems at all. So yeah, it's really good. Do I play with RF antennas? No, I'm not an RF guy. Sorry, I'm not an antenna guy. Any traps for when doing EMC testing, RF susceptibility, lightning strikes, etc.? Oh, there's a whole. That's three separate questions. Really, EMC testing, you can cheat at EMC testing. you can your clock. PCs do it all the time. If you've got a new PC and you've wondered what the what's the option in the BIOS to add some noise to the actual clock, it actually adds jitter to the clock. I don't know what they call it in BIOSes and stuff like that. But anyway, if you turn spread spectrum, thank you. Yes, spread spectrum. You turn on the spread spectrum option. The reason that's in there is so that those PCs can pass EMC compliance. Because if you, because most of the noise is generated from your clocks and stuff like that. So, so what they do is they add jitter to the clock. They spread the they spread the spectrum. Instead of it being one frequency, say it's 100 megahertz or something, and you check it on a spectrum analyzer, it's just a complete straight line at 100 megahertz. They actually dither it and they add jitter, and that spreads the energy over a bigger bandwidth. So it lowers the peak energy of the actual emitted radiation. So so it's a way to cheat. So when they get their computer EMC tested, they switch on the spread spectrum thing, and it lowers the radiated RF energy. And then, if you want better performance, you switch it back on and you get... So there you go. And plus the harmonics as well. Yeah. And so there you go. That's a way to do that. And another way to pass EMC compliance, a lot of chips these days, if they're EMC... they'll have anti-EMC or technology in there to lower EMC, and you can actually change the slew rate of the output. So instead of being a really fast rise time, you can actually slew the output, and that generates less EMC. So that's another way to reduce your EMC and stuff like that. And the other big thing with EMC when you're designing stuff is to keep your loops as tight and as short as possible. By loop, I mean from your load. If you've got your power supply down here, you've got your load up here, make the current loop between your power rails and your ground, make that as short and as tight as possible using ground planes and stuff, because it's the loop area. There's not a lot of people know this, but the thing that generates and receives the most amount of EMC energy is usually the loop area of your circuit, whatever that happens to be it a chip with a decoupling cap going back to the power supply, or be it a switch mode power supply or something like that. It's all about the loop area. When is the micro count going on sale? Oh God, sorry, I haven't even... Oh, something dropped. My LCD dropped. Hang on. There, my micro calc for sale. I don't know. I haven't even fired the damn thing up yet. So there you go. No idea. It's one of those projects I started with great enthusiasm, and then I got it manufactured, and then I just did nothing with it. Whoa, something about designing a CPLD. Do I need an oscilloscope to probe it? Probably. If you don't have an oscilloscope, you're not in electronics, really. Get an oscilloscope. What do I normally eat for breakfast? It's just boring dry bread with a slice of cheese. This morning I had homemade bread, homemade gluten-free bread. So yeah, we bake our own bread here, and yeah, so I had that. I had some rock melon. I'm going to have an apple and a banana and a protein drink, maybe. That's my breakfast. Think I'll have to watch this later. The internet has gone weird. Bye. See ya. Have I ever been to Europe? Yes, I have. I've been to Europe. I've been to France, Italy, Germany, and England. Love it. I love Europe. It's a bit hard not being able to speak the language, of course, but yeah, I'd love to do more. I'd love to go to some of the Nordic countries. I know I've got a lot of fan base in Germany, so hello to all my German viewers and Dutch viewers as well. I know I've got a lot of viewers from Dutch. If you want to see where all my viewers are from, there's a link. There's a new tiny little link on my main blog page, just under Twitter thing, just under the Twitter thing. It's a map. It says map or something like that. And if you click on that, you can see where all my viewers are from. And you can see where you're from as well. So if you go check that out, you can see there's a huge contingent from Germany, not very many from France, and places like that. And yeah, so yes, I still take stuff apart just for the fun of it, to see what's inside. Always. I love taking stuff apart. I just like looking at the construction and things like that to see what people have done and what chipsets are used and things like that. Which town did I visit in Germany? Hamburg. I spent 2 weeks in Hamburg near Christmas time. It was lovely. Oh, I loved Hamburg. Fantastic. Hamburg at Christmas time. Fantastic. And I went, yeah, so I didn't have a car, so I spent all my time in Hamburg, but I did go for a day trip out to Lübeck, which is a lovely little, 12th century town or something. So I've been to Lübeck. I went to a organ recital in a 14th century church or something in Lübeck, and that was fantastic. So yeah, I'd love to go back to Germany, but that's all I saw of Germany. So sorry, I only saw Hamburg. I didn't get to Berlin or any other, or didn't get to do a road trip or anything like that. So any details on my US visit? Yes, I will be in the US on I think I'll leave on the 8th or the 9th. The ticket is booked, so it's a definite goer. I'll be in LA for 6 days, I think 6 or 7 days in LA. I fly in on a Saturday and I leave on I leave on a Friday or something. So yeah, 6 odd days in LA, and then after that we're going on a 10-day vacation. The wife has insisted on coming, so so we've got 10 days. We're not sure where we're going to go yet. We might end up at Harry Potter World. She's obsessed with Harry Potter, so we might end up on the East Coast, fly over to Orlando. We've been to Orlando before. We really love Orlando, so we might go to Harry Potter World. But we don't know apart from that. We're sort of up in the air. It all hinges around, we're trying to get tickets to the Big Bang Theory. We love the Big Bang Theory TV show, and apparently there's tickets for sale, and it's filmed near LA, and we're going to get tickets. I think they go on sale soon, or free, but you've got to sign up, right? You've got to be on the web in 5 minutes of the exact time to get these tickets. So I guess all our holiday plans hinge around being able to get tickets to Big Bang Theory. Can you do a blog on do-it-yourself equipment? Maybe show us the insides of some of the stuff you built. Yeah, maybe. How many amps does one need to fly to the moon? 42 milliamps can get you to the moon. Any plans to do a beginner tutorial series on electronics? Well, as I mentioned in my last live blog, there's this guy doing tutorials on YouTube, beginner tutorials, and he's getting 100,000 hits. So yeah, I think I should get into beginner tutorials. What is a transistor? Basic. I've been thinking about like a basic building block series, so that like I do a video on each particular building block, or each little core bit of theory or something like that. I'll do one on Ohm's law, I'll do one on Kirchhoff's, and so on, and then I'll do basic building blocks. And yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'll probably do something like that. I'd love to. It's just a matter of time, I guess. Can I briefly explain dual slope integrating ADCs? Yeah, I could, but it'd take some time. It'd take 10 to 15 minutes of waffling on. There's plenty of info out there. I highly recommend you go check them out. Dual slope ADCs are the ones that are used in multimeters and stuff like that. Please do a blog on PWM with micros. Yeah, okay, PWMs. I've had a few people ask that. My opinion on analog storage scopes. Well, I think you can still buy one. I think there's still one available on the market. But yeah, I don't know why you'd want an analog storage scope these days. Digital's all the go. Any videos on basic RF antenna design? No, I don't like RF antenna design, so no videos on that. I can display the chat on the video. Can I using? Oh, awesome! I'll have to look into that. I won't play around with it now, but yeah. I'm not a big fan of repair. Do I take things apart to find out why? Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I don't like repairing my own gear. You know, if stuff fails, I just don't like spending the time on it. I just, you know, if my TV fails, I take it to the local repair guy. You know, look, I'll open it and look for basic stuff, but I won't go, you know, I won't get my oscilloscope out and try and probe stuff. I just haven't got the enthusiasm to fix my own gear to that level. I'd rather keep my local service tech employed, and they can do it much more efficiently because they deal with that sort of stuff every day. They'll find it, doesn't matter how good you are, somebody who does something every day is going to beat the pants off you to do something, so I'll just give it to them. What's the best way to start with FPGAs? What kind of development board documentation for first project? Oh, there's millions of them. Well, I shouldn't. Well, see, I develop those sort of things for a living, so maybe I'm contractually obligated to say what the best FPGA development board is, so I better not go there. But yeah, there's some good ones. There's some good, I mean, yeah, there's simple boards out there. You can buy just simple ones with just an FPGA and a bunch of headers and a JTAG header. And then you just get you can build your own JTAG programmer that hooks up to the, hooks up, the old one's the parallel port, but you can get USB JTAG programmers, and that's all you need. You can download all the software, but the software's the hard part about FPGAs. The software is really complex. You know, if you download all the basic tools, yeah, geez, let's not go there. FPGAs are, the software is just so hideously complex. No, you heard it was Altium. Yes. No, Altium do make a good FPGA development board. It's $400 though. It's real easy to use. So there you go. Practical difference for hobbyists between CPLGs and FPGAs. CPLDs just aren't as flexible. They don't have the logic element construction in them is different. So you can't, you know, I'm not going to say you can't, because you might be able to, but it's very difficult to say to put in an 8-bit microprocessor core into a CPLD. It's more suited to an FPGA. They just have the flexible architecture with the flip-flops and the clocks and everything else. CPLDs are really good for, really mainly used for just logic interfacing, glue logic and stuff like that, whereas FPGAs, you can actually put a software processor in there or multiple processors, and you can do all sorts of, they're just completely flexible, FPGAs. So they're more flexible. CPLDs are, you know, just less flexible devices, but they're typically faster. The CPLDs are faster, lower power, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's a complete trade-off. It depends what you want. But generally, FPGAs are much more flexible. Yes, and CPLDs can guarantee timings better as well. And, yeah, there's all sorts of timing issues. But as a beginner, you don't really have to worry about timing issues because you're not going to go to the bleeding edge of things, hopefully. So, yeah. But, yeah, FPGAs are complex. That's why there's a lot of shift now back to hard silicon. You know, a lot of FPGAs are now coming with, they're realizing that, you know, they're just not as great as everyone thought they were. So they're going back to hard silicon. They've all got hard silicon processors on there, so you can guarantee the timings. You don't have to dick around trying to get your processor timings correct and all that sort of stuff. So get an MBA or spend some years getting PhD. Are you talking to me? Are you saying I should get an MBA or PhD? No, thanks. Is there a scope better than the Rigol DS1052 within the same price bracket? Yes, there is. The Instec one. I've mentioned this on the forum. There's a forum post on it. Sorry, I can't remember the model number. It's the Instec 1000 series, I think. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but you can get it for $400, and it's got twice the memory depth of the Rigol. So it does actually look better than the Rigol. I think it's got an SD card on the front too, or something. So yeah, it looks to be better. I tried to get a model. I tried to get a how often? Yeah, I tried to get one and I couldn't. They wouldn't send me one. Instec refused to send me one. How often do I get zapped? I don't anymore. I don't get zapped at all because I hate dealing with. I don't deal with main stuff much or high voltage stuff. So. Can I drive a car with the wheel on the left side? Yes, I can. No, I have no problems at all going to a different country and driving on the wrong side of the road. I have more problem, actually, if I've been away for a month or so, a couple of weeks or a month driving overseas or something on the other side of the road, I find it harder to come back here and actually drive on the, you know, and drive on our side of the road again. I find it harder. But yeah, I don't have problems driving on the wrong side of the road. Well, sometimes I get a bit confused if it's late at night and there's no other cars out there as a reference point and you're at an intersection. Sometimes I turn down the wrong side of the road because I get a bit confused because there's no reference point. Whereas if you've got cars going everywhere, your mind's got a reference point to actually work with that. So yeah, there you go. Roundabouts, yeah, roundabouts. Goes against the natural order of things. No, apparently we drive on the correct side of the road here. I've heard a thing that the side of the road thing. I don't know if this is complete. It's probably complete bullshit, but it sounds like a reasonable enough theory. That you're supposed to drive on the left hand side of the road because back in the days of the Romans with the swords and everything, and apparently most people were actually right-handed, so your sword would be in your left-hand side, and apparently you take out your sword, and because the roads were curved and you could see people coming from the opposite direction, so you're supposed to stay on the left so that you can actually bring your sword out like that and attack. Anyway, it's something like that. Apparently that's the history of what side of the road you're supposed to drive on. So England and Australia have it correct. US have got it back to front. Sorry. Can you say, where's the car? Ah, where's the car? Where's the car? I assume that's for the Jerry Ellsworth chatbot, is it? Wink, wink. Where's the car? There you go. People like sampling my voice for the Jerry Ellsworth chatbot. I'm sure that's what it is. Take something apart. What would you like me to say? What would you like me to take apart? I can take apart the Heiko FX888 if you want. Anyone want to see what's inside the new Heiko FX888? Have I done anything with PLCs? Oh yeah, many years ago I did PLCs and ladder logic and all that sort of stuff. I'm taking it apart. I've got to get the rubber feet off. Yeah, I did PLC stuff a long time ago. I even started writing my own ladder logic compiler program. So yeah, that was we're talking 20 years ago plus. But since then, no, I haven't dealt with PLCs. That's all industrial process control stuff and things like that. All right, I'm taking it apart. Do you know the game? Do you know the game? What game? You forgot to smell the new product. Can't smell much there. I smell it when I open it. It's got a transformer in it. Transformers usually smell quite nice. I just lost. What? There you go, the Instec 1062A. There you go. By the way, if anyone's in Sydney, I'll be at the electronics show this week. I'm not sure which day, but I'll be there. I mentioned that last time. Just curious, how much time do I spend in the gym? I now only go 4 days a week. I used to go 7, usually an hour. Ta-da! Here it is. This is the new Heiko FX 888 FX 888 soldering iron. Look, you can see the see the external FET down there. They're using the bottom case as a heatsink. Check out the fuse on top is actually soldered directly in. Tight asses. They haven't bothered with a connector. And yeah, there's not. There you go. It's quite reasonable construction, and I think that chip down in there, I think that chip there is a Heiko branded chip. It's hard to. I haven't got my torch here. It's hard to really see it, but I think it's Heiko branded. Yep, I think so. I think I see Heiko on it. So there you go. That's quite curious that they would actually brand their own chips, but maybe not. You know, it's probably just a little micro or something like that, which they've, you know, rebranded. Because you can do that. It's actually fairly cheap. You can actually, you know, if you've got an AVR or a PIC or something like that, you can actually get them rebranded. If you actually order enough of them. If you order like 100,000 or something, they'll actually put a custom number on there and stuff for you. So that's no problem. So there you go. That's inside the Heiko FX 888. So it's, you know, it's quite reasonable. And the thing is, it looks like it's actually, it looks like it uses the same pinout as the old one. It does sort of seem to fit, except that the old one had like a screw-in, a screw-in thread thing. Here it is. Let me undo it. All right, here's the new iron, and here's the old one. And as you can see, the old one has like a threaded ring thing on it, and the new one is just a plug-in thing. And they appear to have the same. The new one has like an extra pin in the middle. I'm not sure what that. Is. Here's the new one with the pin in the middle, and the old one doesn't. So you can physically still plug it in, but why they've changed that, I don't know. What a bunch of dickheads, really. But now I heard that the irons weren't compatible, like they use different tips, but they don't really. I mean, check it out. They give you the worst tip, the least useful tip out of the bunch. It's one of those conical ones, like a 1mm conical tip. Why can't they give you like a nice flat tip or something? It's crazy. Anyway, so this the new one, actually, it looks like it's almost identical. There's the, you know, it's the same as, I'll show you, it's the same as the old Heiko one. This is the Heiko 926, the 936 is the same. And, you know, there it is. And they're the same thread. Look, I can put the old tip on there, and this is the old one, as you can see, and it all just fits nicely. I haven't tried it out, I haven't fired it up, but you know, it obviously fits and doesn't move. So that's almost 100% guarantee it's going to work, because that's the ceramic element. So it's got nothing to do with the tip. The tip's just a, you know, thing that sits over the top. But there you go. They seem to be compatible. So I heard they weren't. I looked on the Heiko website the other day, and they said the accessories weren't compatible. So beats the shit out of me. Anyway, it looks a bit thicker if you look at the end on that. The new one looks a bit thicker, but the actual I think because it's not tapered at the end. The old one's tapered at the end, like that. If you can see it, the old one's tapered. Anyway, yeah, they seem to be compatible. So go figure. I don't know. Strange. Anyway, I'll have to do a review on that. I don't know how you review a soldering iron. How do you review a soldering iron? Yeah, it works, you know. I mean, you know, you can test the thermal capacity and do some joints, but, you know, I don't know. I just do, like, construction and show the differences between the old one and the new one. And so there you go. It's the new, you know, it's the FX8801 or something like that is the new number on the, there you go. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's nice. I actually kind of like it. It's, you know, you can say all you want about the wanky look of it and stuff like that, but I think it's kind of funky looking, you know, and it doesn't take up any space at all on your bench. It's really quite nice from, you know, just that functional low footprint point of view, and I think that's important. So, and as you can see, it is designed. They've got some famous industrial designer in, and he signed it. There you go. I don't know who, if you can actually pronounce that word, you're better than I am. But there you go. That's the dude who designed it. I guess some, you know, someone of note, some industrial designer of note, actually designed the look and feel of that, and it comes in 4 different fruity colours. Anyway. Have I ever used PCB cart for assembly? No, I haven't. I've heard that you can. I only use PCB cart for my blank boards. I've got one that should be shipping to me soon. I've got yet another board coming. But no, if anyone's ever used PCB cart and you've had success, let me know, because I'm in the business to get some new boards assembled. So, can you hold up your favourite tip to the webcam? It's just a conical tip. I mean, there it is. It's just a flat conical. Sorry, not conical. What am I talking about? It's a flat tip. It's a what's the term? Someone help me out. Chisel tip. Mental block again. So it's, yeah, I don't think it can zoom in that close. There we go, chisel tip. There we go. It's like a 1.5 millimeter, a 2 millimeter chisel, something like that. That's probably my favorite tip, because the round conical one, the ones that are just round tips, are useless. You can't get any surface contact. They're hopeless. And that's what they give you as standard on the bloody iron. It's the least useful tip out of the whole range, I think. And that's the one they give you. It's nuts. Yes, they transfer heat better than flat chisel ones. It means more surface area contact with the pad, which gets the heat through better. What's my least liked electronics semiconductor manufacturer and why? Oh, geez. Who is my least liked? What's the time, by the way? 8:50 a.m. Okay. Just trying to keep track of time. My least liked. Oh, God, who's pissed me off lately? I don't know. It varies depending on who's pissed me off, because their websites change and they're shit, or I've got to register to get a data sheet, or I've got to... Oh, God, I don't know. Maxim, of course, are one of my pet favourites, because you can't get Maxim chips in high volume. They're just... They make really cool chips, but you cannot get them. You know, you design them into your, you know, circuit, and because you can buy 1,000 at DigiKey or something, no problems at all. But then when you try and build something that you need more than that, and that'll be 42 weeks lead time, sir. Oh, piss off. Yeah, they're trying to fix that. They've been trying to fix it for years, but yeah, I don't know. Microchip. Really? Oh yeah, because you're an AVR freak. That's your name. No, Microchip are great. Microchip have no problems. Their prices are low. Their availability is excellent. Pick what up on my trip to the US? Yeah, the video reply from Microchip was pretty impressive. Have I heard about the Danish do-it-yourself manned spacecraft was due to launch today but delayed? Next attempt Wednesday. No, I haven't. Cool. Somebody email me the link so I can have a look at that. I'd love to see that. Oh, Maxim chips. No, why would I want to pick them up in the US? No, I just don't design them in. I try and avoid Maxim parts. A lot of guys in the industry I know, they just have a blanket rule. I'll avoid Maxim parts because they've just been burned too many times. And that just pisses people off. Did you see about the Memristor HP deal this week? I heard something about it. Yeah, Memristors. They've been talking about them for ages. Because the battery was flat. Nice work. Do I solder SMD components with it? With the chisel tip? Yes, I do. The chisel tip, that chisel tip was what I used to do SMD components. No problems at all. Chisel is really good for doing SMD parts. What's my favourite calculator apart from the ones I've designed myself? My favourite calculators are the pre-VPAM Casios. I don't like the visually perfect algebraic method, which they introduced in the 90s or something like that. I like just the traditional algebraic, the traditional Casio scientific calcs. I love them. What do I use for a GPS? I've just got a Garmin eTrex, and I've got a Fortrex 101 as well, the one that mounts on your wrist. Do we have problems getting other electronic stuff in Australia? Sometimes, but with Mouser and DigiKey and Newark and all the rest, it's pretty easy these days. Tandy, yeah, Tandy's just a rebadged Casio. Probably the next live blog, if somebody reminds me, I can take apart my Tandy 100. My original Tandy 100 notebook computer. The last software that was written by Bill Gates. I can take that apart if anyone wants to. I've actually got 2 of those. So if somebody reminds me. Yeah, I've already done it already. Tandy 1000, yeah, I had a Tandy 1000 too. I've done a video on the Tandy 1000. I published a turbo board for the Tandy 1000. It's one of the first circuits I got published. Have a Tandy bonfire. What's my t-shirt? Mythbusters. I reject your reality and substitute my own. Sorry if yep. I reject your reality and substitute my own. There you go. Adam Savage, Mythbusters. Beautiful. Famous quote from Adam Savage. Any new t-shirts? No, afraid not. When can we expect to see your video on the DC to DC converter? Well, I was going to edit it last night, but I had to go to dinner and I didn't have time. I don't know. I might edit it tonight while this one's rendering. No, rendering and editing at the same time isn't good. So anyway, it'll be the next one after I upload this live blog, or it might even, yeah, it'll be the next one after I upload this live blog. I haven't edited it yet, so the Kindle thing got in the way. I shot it on the Sunday or whatever on the weekend, and then my Kindle turned up Monday, and then I went Burko on the Kindle. So the DC to DC one took a back step. But yeah, it's coming. The footage is all there. Thanks for the great show. No problems. Haven't done much. Is a desoldering station worth it? They're pretty handy. they're pretty darn handy. It depends on what you're doing. You know, I can get by without one. They get blocked a lot. You've got to continually clean them and stuff like that. But they're pretty darn handy to have when you have one. But yeah, you can get by without it. Solder wick and having two. I think having two soldering irons is more important than having a soldering iron and a desoldering station. I think so. Because the you know, the desoldering station doesn't help you when with say surface mount parts. If you want to lift a resistor off, you know, sucking the solder off one side, it doesn't work. You've got to get iron on both sides, and whoop, or a hot air gun would be a hot air thing would be more useful than a desoldering station perhaps these days. Could I do a blog on conspiracy theories? Oh, I'd love to. But seriously, Tower 7 is not a conspiracy theory. Go look it up. Seriously. What do I use to cut my homemade PCBs? I don't make my own PCBs anymore. I get them made by PCB Cut. But if you must know... There you go, a big pair of shears. That's what I use to cut my PCBs with, and I've had that for... I've had that for 30 years. As you can see, all the paint's worn off. It's just a big pair of shears. Great for cutting 1.6mm FR4. Nice and clean. No problems. So... May the flute be with you. Heat gun. Yeah, I've got a heat gun. God, no, I wouldn't use it as a desoldering. It's a bit harsh. Oh, I think I've got a little nozzle attachment for it. You probably could, but you can't set the temperature. I don't like anything I can't set the temperature on. Can I do a blog on SMD soldering? Perhaps. A lot of people, but there's already blogs, there's already YouTube videos out there on how to do SMD soldering, and I think they're reasonable. So, what OS? I run Windows 7 and XP. Yeah, I'm a Windows guy. I don't have time to learn Linux. I don't see any advantage. I can't run a lot of programs I use. So yeah, no, I don't want to change. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Yeah, yes, I don't like penguins. Am I a Star Trek fan? No, I'm not that geeky. Oh, you know, I don't mind the new movie. I like the original movie. Franchise, you know, I never got into all the branch offs, all the Jean-Luc Picard stuff and all the rest of it. I never got into that. Why not OS X then? You need a Mac to run OS X, don't you? I don't use Macs. Do I etch my own PCBs? No, I send them out to be done. I don't etch my own PCBs. I've got a light box, which is way up there. I could get it down if you want. It's got a couple of UV fluoro tubes in it, and that's what I used to use to develop my own boards. Does the water in my sink go clockwise or anti-clockwise? Well, everyone knows it goes opposite here in Australia. It goes the opposite way around to what it does in the US. So have a look at your one, and my one here goes the opposite direction. How much trouble is sending out for PCBs, getting it right the first time? Oh, that's important. I think one of the biggest booms there, because I use Altium Designer software, and the 3D view, not to view the components, but the 3D view to view the solder mask and the pad expansion and the copper and everything. That is a godsend, and the silk screen, that's a godsend for checking your board prior to sending it out. It's great. So before I send my board out, I'll just hit the 3D view and pop it up, and you can see exactly what your board's going to look like when you do that. So yeah, it's fantastic. So I love that. Geez, it's 9 AM already. I better get going. Any more quick questions? Does the software do schematic verification as well? Yes, it does DRC as well. What's the smallest quantity of PCBs needed to make professionally made PCBs economical? You can just do one. You can just do one at PCB cart. I've just gotten one board made before. Granted, it was a, you know, it was a panel, but you know, you can just get one. It's economical. You know, the tooling might be $40 tooling, and you just, you know. But the problem with Australia, you pay like $30 postage or something. So, which sim software do I use? I use LT Spice for simulation. Did I find that etching them myself was substantially cheaper? Yeah, it's cheaper, but it's not the same. It's too much hassle, and a lot of the circuits I'm dealing with, I want them to look good, right? Because I'll use I use the silk screen as the front panel or something like that often these days, or they're double-sided and they've got plate-through holes, which you just can't really do easily yourself. So I get all my boards sent away. It's just so much easier, really. Yeah, and it costs a bit more. You can etch them yourself, but it's not worth the time and hassle to drill 1,000 holes or something in your board. It's just not worth it. Yep, thanks, Dusty. It's been a good show. Better quality when sending off for PCBs. Yes, definitely. You get a much better quality. Etching's perfect, you know, and you get the solder mask, and you get the silk screen, and you get, you know, so much better. And, yeah, so you can make them cheaper, but they're rough as guts, you know. I don't like it. Any plans to sell the microcurrent again? Well, I've got some parts left. I don't have enough parts to make any more. I just sold 10 of them. And I think I've got 5 kits left. I think I've got parts for 5 kits. I'm not sure if they're complete, but they're pretty close. So I might maybe sell those 5 kits or something. But I don't know. I've got too many other things happening at the moment to worry about the microcurrent, really, because there's not much demand for it. I mean, I sold out those 10 instantly, but if I go and make 100, I'm not going to sell 100. So, yes, there's a schematic online for the microcurrent. Yes, there's a whole article online for the microcurrent. I got it published in Silicon Chip. I've put the whole article as a PDF. It's available on my Alternate Zone website. What PCB software do I use? I use Altium Designer. For the 100th time, if you sign the microcurrents, can you sell them to your fanboys? God, who wants my signature? Take pre-orders for another run. No, I hate taking pre-orders. I hate taking people's money unless I have the products to ship. So, any other questions? Last minute questions? Because I'll call it quits now. It's already 9:05. So use Kickstarter. Somebody mentioned that last time, I think. Yeah, thanks for the live show. Thanks for turning up, everyone. How many people did I get, by the way? Do I like Star Trek? I answered that. You missed it. Aren't you listening? Put your headphones on. What car do I have? I have a 2002 Holden Vectra. Made in Germany. It's 1:05 a.m. in Germany. Oh, thanks, Germany, for staying up and watching. 100 viewers. That's pretty awesome. John Dowd, see you all at Electronics. Oh, see you there, John, if you're going to be there. Fast? Is my car fast? No. Ew, Vectra. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not that great a car. It's really good, solid German engineering, but it just leaks like a sieve. It's just crap, you know. It just breaks down all the time and leaks. So Germany make solid stuff, but not reliable stuff. There you go. A Taurus. Oh. Oh, dear. Any plans for an electric car? I'd love to do an electric car. If I had the time and the money, I would. love to do an electric car. I've got a friend who's made their own electric car from scratch, which is awesome. Yes, I know Holden's owned by General Motors. Yeah, has been for a long, long time. Do I know about the EE store? No, I don't. Can I have who on the show? Oh, it's a girl, actually. She built her own electric car. Yeah, maybe I can do a blog on the electric car. That'd be interesting. It was years ago. It was like 5 years ago or something she built that. So, yeah. Maybe I could. Maybe I could go do a blog. I believe she still has it and still drives it. Visit Sunswift. Yeah, I should probably do some field visits. I should go visit some. There's some stuff in Sydney that's worth blogging about. So, electric DeLorean. Yes. Why does everyone assume he? Yes, Thundersqueak is a girl. Hi, Thundersqueak. Hey, big smiley face. Yeah, a chick. I think you're the only chick on the EEVblog forum, actually. Holden is called Opel. Yes, it's an Opel. It's an Opel Vectra, manufactured by Opel in Germany, fully imported. Yep. Anyway, it's 10 minutes past 8, guys. I better call it quits. And so thanks everyone for coming. I hope I didn't piss off too many people with all the off-topic rants, but somebody asked. So that's what happens when you ask. You get a rant. I could do a whole show on it. Public flogging for them later. Yeah. We love your off-topic rants. Cool. I'm glad some people like it. I do like ranting. I'll probably have to have like a separate YouTube. I've got another YouTube channel, which is a partner channel, and I probably should just put my rants on there, and everyone should sign up to them, and I can just use that as my rant channel, like talking about just world politics or, conspiracy theories or something like that. So yeah, I shouldn't do them on the EEVblog. I should just do it on davesrants.com, yes, and I can link to, that's probably available. I should register that. Favourite beer? I don't drink beer. Sorry, don't have a favourite beer. I think they all taste like piss. I know that's very unengineering-like, but, yep. Too many of those on YouTube already. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. There's lots of people out there ranting on YouTube, and so yeah, at least I'm doing something niche, I guess, the electronics. Yeah. Aussie beer. 6 months sober tomorrow. Well done, Thundersqueak. Do I smoke? No, I hate smoke. I hate people who smoke. One of my pet hates cigarette smoke. I can smell one cigarette particle from a mile away. God, yeah. One of the things in life I really hate is people who smoke. And I love the smoking laws here now. Smoking is now it's been banned in planes for decades, all public transport, restaurants now. Clubs, most clubs are smoke-free now. It's fantastic. Yes, my wife gets testy while I sit here in the garage. I'm ignoring her, so she complains all the time, you're not paying attention to me. Smokers cause trouble in clean rooms. Yeah, probably, when they breathe out all the shit. But they've got masks on, so in a clean room, so I guess that... Anyway, for those who missed it, my wife was on the blog yesterday. She was on there. You missed it. If you missed my tweet and you didn't turn up to the live test, I did a live test yesterday. And I think 2 people showed up. Chris and Stu showed up, and they saw my wife. There you go. And she even said hi and everything on camera. No, I don't have kids. So, yeah, everyone missed it. I missed your show yesterday. My boyfriend outranked you. Sorry. Have her do an AMA. What's an AMA? Yes, I'll thank her for you. No problems. Sofa with a celebrity on. Yeah, I'd love to get some celebrities into the EEVblog lab here. The problem is, being in Sydney, we just don't have, you know, if I was based in the US in Silicon Valley, I could have guests on every week, you know. But here we've just got, you know, I've had my mate Doug on. That's about it. Yeah, that's about as far as you're going to get for, you know, a celebrity here in Sydney, really. Does she ever watch my videos? Only very, very occasionally. How late am I going to be for work? I can turn up to work anytime, so yeah, no worries. Anyway, I better go. It'll get, you know, I'll get completely carried away. It's 9:12 a.m. I love the clock up the top on the screen. There it is. Love it. It's brilliant. My wife loved your Kindle. Yeah, my wife has commandeered my Kindle. It's now hers. God. Holiday for you in the US. What holiday is it in the US tomorrow? Labor Day. Oh, okay. Is Labor Day a big thing in the US? I think it is, isn't it? Labor Day is a big thing. What do I think of daylight saving? I love daylight saving. I can't wait for daylight saving. I hate it when daylight saving finishes. Yes, grilling and stuff. Right, so it's kind of like Australia Day here. We've got Labor Day here in Sydney, in our state here. We've got a Labor Day, but it's yeah, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a day off work for everyone, you know. Cool. Anyway, thanks for turning up, guys. 9:15. I've got to go. I've got to make my lunch. I've got to pack up. I've got to do stuff and head off to work. So thanks, everyone. It's been another good one. I don't know where the hour and a half goes. It's been an hour and a half recording already. So sorry I was a bit late and the problems with the Zoom. I don't know what happened there, but hopefully the video capture will work here, and I can upload. It won't be in HD anymore. It'll be 640 by 480, but who the hell wants to watch a 1.5 hour show in HD? So it's much easier because then it all comes through the